Hey, and welcome to Crypto Crazy. I'm Cal, and today I'm going to talk to you about convergence finance. And you can see it here on the screen. It's a decentralized interchangeable asset protocol. So they want to converge the world. And I'll go into details about what that means. But just before that, I want to mention that this coin is going to IDO tomorrow. So that will be through the Polka Starter platform. However, it's only a very small amount. They're only doing 0.6% of their coins, and there will be a cap at 300 USD. However, what I do want to mention is that it will then be available on Uniswap. So here it mentions at 1 p.m. UTC time, the Uniswap listing. So that is something that I just want to kind of bring to you beforehand. So if you do think that it would be a good investment, that would be the time to get in, because I'm sure with a lot of demand for it, that people will get in. Just so you know, their whitelist to get into the IDO was 500 times oversubscribed. So there'll be a lot of people who will definitely want to get into it. What they have also mentioned is if you do want to get into, do not try to look for it beforehand on the platform. Sometimes there can be some scam coins. However, it will be CONV, that ticker. So let's get into what convergence is in a little bit more detail. So tokenization is the future. What they want to do is where you have real life assets in the world, they want to make those into security tokens. So in the same way that we have these utility tokens in the world, and we use them for, in most instances, for a lot of the projects that we see in the crypto world, they want to be able to make those interchangeable as well with security tokens. So it pretty much says that here tokenization is the process of representing real world assets with security tokens. So if you have any of those assets in the world, you can then securitize them and you can have them representing it. So here they talk about that those assets can be fractionalized. So if something is of very large value and you wanted a smaller part of it, you can then fractionalize it so you own only a part of it. Here it's also talking about digitalized ownership. So there will be actual authentication as to who does own it as well. So I think again that is a great thing, because it's going to be recorded onto the blockchain as well. And it talks about here operational efficiencies using the blockchain technology. Everything would be a lot more faster, and certainly with smart contracts as well. So just going down here, and they talk about what the limitations are currently, and this is what they're trying to solve. So low liquidity, siloed protocols, and it's just for professional investors. And they want to get around that. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to converge these two worlds together. And like I mentioned before, it says here that if you did have a utility token, so if you had a token in any one of these crypto projects that's very large, and they had decided that they want to have security tokens as well, you'd be able to swap one for the other. Because at the moment, we do get tokens not for the increase in value, because that would make it a security token. So a crypto project sells it as a utility. So we're supposed to just use it onto that platform, and they don't sell them with the expectation of an increase in value. However, security tokens would be, because then you actually do own a part of that company. At the moment, if you were to buy XRP, you don't actually own a part of Ripple. You just own let's say a bit of technology that you could use onto a platform that they have created, blockchain that they've created. So that's the difference there. And I think this is something that is pretty big in terms of possibilities. I do want to give you a balanced view. So I think along with security tokens, there's also the other side of regulations. A lot of countries, jurisdictions at the moment don't have regulations for utility tokens. It's just something that they'd never seen. However, once it starts going into the world of securities, then they obviously do have that. However, you can, like I mentioned, treat them in the same way. So if even if you were going to be buying an asset or a share in the same way, you would just buy this token instead, and it just makes everything, as I mentioned, more efficient. I think that's a big part, and you can buy a part of it as well. So I think those couple of areas really do add a lot of value with this project. So here it's talking about the wrapped security tokens, and that's just basically the token wrapped. It gives a bit of details there that I was mentioning, and then also lending and borrowing. That once you do have those wrapped security tokens, you can use them for liquidation. So you can lend them, you can borrow them, and again, this is really great because it is very much bringing more traditional like banking, but into the crypto world. And there's a lot of parts of the world as well, and not just this project, but other projects as well, that are bringing these type of services where a lot of people don't have even a bank account. I see the figures, and I'm amazed in some countries how many people are traditionally unbanked. So cryptocurrency will get into those places as well. And here we can see the investors that you have. They have quite a few big companies, well, good investors behind them as well. You've got Morningstar Ventures there as well. It was a great one. Black Edge Capital as well. Couple of some really good big ones. So that's very much it. I mean, you can get onto there and have a look at the white paper. That's in terms of what the company is doing at the moment. This is what I was talking about, the ICO. So a very small amount that they're doing at that price. But I think once it does hit the exchanges, it's going to go up. So just one other thing to mention as well, they have a partnership with Mask Network and they're working together. So they're also working on something else that's called Initial Twitter Offering, and this is actually quite interesting. This is very much that you would be able to, in the same way that you buy a token, or in here like they're talking about wrap security tokens, but if you're buying a token on an IDO, you would be able to do it through an ITO, Initial Twitter Offering, rather than the decentralized exchange. And what that means is Twitter will have the capability that you can actually buy within it without leaving that platform. And I think that is something, again, which is amazing. And you can kind of see how this is working with different companies and different organizations to really build a great infrastructure. So they've got a relatively small team, got 5 employees here. The CEO or the founder, Ivan Yang, is someone who has worked in the blockchain industry for a while. So I think in terms of his experience, that's pretty good. They've got some good advisors as well. This individual here, the CCO, is from Liquify. Ivan Yang was at Liquify, I believe, as well. They've had quite a bit of initial funding too, and it talks about here 2 million. And that's always a good sign if there are some good investors in there as well, and they've raised a fair amount. Then I think that's always a good sign that they've done their homework and research, and they know that these guys can really do a good job. And it's very unlike the last bull run where there were a lot of investors that were just literally throwing money at ICOs. So you could very much get money with just a white paper 3 years ago. White paper and maybe a couple of individuals who had some experience. Nowadays, there's a lot more detailed, just in the way that a startup would be. There's a lot more detailed, just looking into the details and just seeing what the organization is doing. So I think that's great. And just lastly here, you've got it there, conversions. Like I said beforehand, do wait for it to be listed to look it up. I got this through a link, so that's the one that I've seen is linked onto it, and then I got there. So, but do wait until 1 p.m. UTC time. So there you go. That's Convergence Protocol. I think they're doing a great thing in terms of the tokenization of real assets. I think there are some hurdles at the moment, but this team does look equipped to be able to do it. Like I said, it's listing tomorrow. You'll be able to get it on Uniswap. I do think there's a very big demand. Like I mentioned, the whitelist had been oversubscribed by 500 times. That's a great deal, considering that there were quite a bit in terms of the tokens. I mean, the cap was small, but there were quite a few tokens that you could get with that. That's an incredible oversubscription. So if you have found that informative, useful, as always mentioned, do give me a like. Please do consider subscribing. I do bring out quite a wide range of videos, new coins that have things coming in the pipeline, some good projects. I did Casper ICO yesterday as well. I think that's going to be pretty big, and just generally just anything that I think will be useful across the cryptocurrency world. So yeah, do consider subscribing, and thank you everyone for your support as well. This it's been amazing. I only started a little while ago, and in the last month this channel has absolutely exploded, a lot more than I would have expected, and it looks like we're going to hit 1,000 subscribers soon. So thank you very much for that as well. So I've been Cal, this is Crypto Crazy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.